Hello everybody, John back here again with another video, and today I bring you my official San Andreas movie review. Now, of course, if you've not seen this film, please check it out because this review may contain spoilers. That being said, San Andreas is not a Grand Theft Auto movie, keep that in mind. I actually was one of those many idiotic people, moviegoers if you will, that actually, when I saw the first actual trailer of the film, I literally thought this film was a live-action Grand Theft Auto movie. I don't know why, I just when I think of San Andreas, I automatically think just Grand Theft Auto. I don't know, I guess I really like that game or something, it stuck with me. But that being said, it has nothing to do with the game franchise, it's actually a disaster film. Now, of course, San Andreas is a Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson blockbuster extravaganza disaster film. Which I actually had zero intentions of ever seeing in theaters. I actually had, no intentions or anticipation for the film. And I actually don't really like the disaster film genre. I'm not really that big of the film genre because, it's just been done time and time again. So many years, so many different types of elements thrown into it. It's a dead genre that just continues to continue going and going and going because of, people love, I guess, seeing gigantic cities being destroyed and tons of people dying, I guess. I don't know. I mean, it's just the same thing done and done again. I just don't see the purpose in seeing another one. I mean, at the end of the day, in my personal opinion, after, the day after tomorrow, it's like, is there a purpose in making another disaster movie? I mean, that was kind of like the peak of the freaking genre. But that being said, Hollywood just loves making, freaking disaster films, and people, I guess, just love buying tickets to see them. So that being said, I had zero intentions of this film, but at the end of the day, I really enjoyed it. I saw it a couple days ago after its release, and decided, what the heck, might as well just do a movie review on it. That being said, the movie stars, obviously, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and Carla Gugino, Alexandra Daddario, and Paul Giamatti. Now, of course, the movie's premise, amongst, the continuous themes and plot points and obviously cheesiness of normal disaster films, essentially the basic premise of this film is Dwayne Johnson's character, who plays a helicopter rescue pilot, essentially must go to San Francisco as this gigantic earthquake that's destroying the San Andreas Fault and San Francisco, must save his daughter, who's staying at San Francisco with Dwayne Johnson's now ex-wife's boyfriend, and hopefully at the end of the day, save his daughter's life, and be a badass at the end of the day, because it's Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Obviously, he's going to be a badass in everything he does. Which, ironically enough, he was pretty awesome in this film. I mean, Dwayne Johnson, it's really funny. He's just been killing it lately. He's just really been freaking killing it. It's like every single movie he does nowadays, it's like, whether you like it or hate it, makes either a lot of freaking money and makes a lot of people smile and happy, I guess. It's just, I don't know what's with that guy. I don't know. But, I don't know, the more time continues to go by, the more and more I'm just anticipated to see him as Black Adam. That's all I'm really going to say. I mean, at the end of the day, that's the main reason as to why I want to see Dwayne Johnson in more movies. But that being said, I really enjoyed this film. It has a lot going for it other than the basic premise that most disaster films have contained with them. But it just really has an awesome heart to it that I think if you eliminated the Dwayne Johnson presence, and you took away his family elements, and you took away that action kind of element, this movie would just be a disaster within itself. I mean, it's pretty much just has this kind of worthless CGI thrown all over the place. You have tons of things going down. It feels like building is falling after building. It's like Man of Steel all over again, the ending rather, where shit's just going down. Cities are exploding for reasons unknown, just for the sake of doing it. And I don't know, I find it kind of unnecessary. I'm just not really into those disaster flakes. I mean, it's good when there's a point to them, but when it's just ironically enough, earthquakes are happening. Shit! It's California. We already know. We know this kind of shit's going to happen, but, we want to, because CGI is so fucking in right now, let's just haul ass with this shit and fucking destroy and eliminate this, people and families and animals and large cities that we like to live in and escape towards, and vacation or what have you. We just love it. And at the end of the day, for me personally, at its core, this movie succeeds mostly due to the fact of Dwayne Johnson's performance, his presence, his stardom, and of course the family element that I actually had zero intentions seeing as well, because at the end of the day, it feels like one of those rehashed kind of storylines where it's like a man and his daughter, a man and his wife, a man and his loved ones. Now he must save them all. It's that same kind of rehashed story arc that we get a lot with these kind of movies. But at the end of the day, I think because of how awesome Dwayne Johnson is and how great the rest of the cast is, it fits well to the point where all the unnecessary garbage that that I'm referencing continues in the background. It stays in place and it stays consistent, and everyone else is just really good in it. Dwayne Johnson kills it. Carla Gugino, I think, is pretty awesome in it. Alexandra Daddario is pretty freaking awesome in it too, which I actually found surprising because she hasn't really had a real action flick. I mean, I know she's from the Percy Jackson movies, but she's never really been, in a position where she does stuff outside with herself. I mean, like, she was almost on par with Dwayne Johnson as a hero, in my personal opinion. And then you have other actors like Paul Giamatti, who freaking kills it. I mean, granted, I can't give him that much props due to the fact that the last time I saw him in a movie was The Amazing Spider-Man 2. And we already know how that kind of happened, so yeah, it's not really like I can give him that much props for like saving this movie, but I think he did pretty alright in it. And one of the biggest things that I actually was anticipating seeing, that I actually was kind of disappointed to a certain extent, was Colin Haynes' performance in this film. Now, Colin Haynes is obviously the star, or one of the many stars of Arrow, CW's Arrow, which I used to be a huge fan of before they destroyed everything with Season 3. Of course, if you want to know my thoughts, then go to my channel. I have multiple videos talking about it. But essentially, Colin Haynes plays the character of Roy Harper / Arsenal, and they killed him off, well, technically killed him off of the show, and now he's off doing his own thing, and that's really awesome because I like Colin Haynes. He's a pretty decent actor. He has a lot of really interesting acting chops, and I'm really glad to see him flourish into a legitimate actor doing these big movies with Dwayne "The Rock" Badass Johnson and shit. So I guess it's really cool for him. But if you're a fan of Colin Haynes, if you're like a Teen Wolf guy or an Arrow guy, and you're like, yeah, I want to see Colin Haynes, essentially the beginning is like the only real sequence that you have him actually doing stuff in it. Colin Haynes, after the beginning of the film, pretty much is not really seen after that. He pretty much has like 2 minutes of fame, and that's pretty much it for his character. You don't really ever see him again, and I think that was one of the big unfortunate losses of the film, because I really liked his presence. He's the first thing you technically see in this movie, and he has this really good on-screen presence. He has this really good chemistry. He has like this really good swag about him, and then he's off and done. That's pretty much it for his character, which I found very unfortunate. And also, I really didn't like the beginning of this film as well. That was another humongous negative I had with this film, is the beginning is very cheesy and very like, it's so 180 of how I expected this film to be. It starts off slow, but it gradually starts to pick up, obviously, and it has really interesting points. But basically, once shit goes down in San Francisco, and once Dwayne Johnson needs to like travel over there to like save his family and shit, that's when the movie really picks up. Everything before it is kind of like pointless in my opinion. But that being said, I really enjoyed this film. I mean, I much more enjoyed it and was entertained by it than I was expecting to be. But that being said, I do have to give this a realistic rating, and if I had to rate this right now, I give it a good 5.5. It was a decent flick, a very entertaining and enjoyable flick, but it wasn't the best movie of the year, and it definitely doesn't top that Mad Max high I was on. I mean, I'm just saying, like, I love Dwayne Johnson. He's awesome. He's a fucking fantastic person, and, everything he does is killing, and he's doing 10,000 different projects as we speak. But I'm just saying, like, I need to see him as Black Adam. That's all I really care about. I need to see him as Black Adam. That's all I need in my life right now from Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. But that being said, I think this movie was entertaining. Johnson is awesome. Everyone else, aside from him, is really great. Carla Gugino is awesome. Alexandria Daddario is pretty great. Paul Giamatti does a pretty decent job. Colin Haynes, even though I wish he was in more scenes, was awesome to see. And I really hope his career takes off from here, because I'm just saying, like, Arrow made a mistake, kicking him out. And I'm just saying, like, I hope he just, like, kicks off from here. I'm just saying, and also, keeping that in mind, does anybody find it ironic that majority of the cast members who are in this film, it's in of itself, were in comic book movies? I just found that odd, just, like, looking at the cast list right now as we speak. Almost every actor or actress has been in a comic book movie. I mean, like, you have Dwayne Johnson, Black Adam. You have Carla Gugino, who's, Scarlet, his freaking Silk Spectre. You got Alexandra Daddario from the Percy Jackson movies. You have Colin Haynes, Arsenal from freaking Arrow. You got the dude from the Wolverine, who was that Archer dude who I freaking forget his name. And you have Paul Giamatti, who was probably in the worst, most controversial Spider-Man movie of all time. So there's a lot of comic book people in this movie. I guess that's the world we live in, where almost majority of Hollywood stars are in comic book movies, which, I don't know, I just found that kind of interesting. I mean, just look at the cast list real quick. Majority of everyone in this movie has been in a freaking comic book movie. It's pretty interesting, like, the kind of, world we live in now. But that being said, I give this a good 5.5. Let me know in the comments below what you personally thought about San Andreas. What did you think about Dwayne Johnson's performance? What did you think about the movie overall? Let me know in the comments below. Subscribe to my channel if you've not done this already. Hope you guys enjoyed. And this has been John 12.